longest of the season, and a 5-game road trip in January will be the longest road trip of the season, the usual West Coast trip where they take on Golden State, the Lakers, the Clippers, and I believe a couple of other, obviously, to make it 5 games, a couple of other teams there. It's broke down, and the Cavaliers send you all the breakdown on the schedule. They got 16 sets of 3 games in 4 nights. Those will be some interesting tests for an older roster here. Going to have to rely on some of the younger legs, as we'll see here as they go through it. And so there it is, the Cavaliers schedule. By the way, single tickets will be available eventually here, but we know the season tickets sold out. And speaking of those younger legs, and look, the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is not just stuff to talk about on Sports Talk like a lot of people do. This could have some problems if there was ever, but you can't tie it, I don't think, to the franchise, which is where it's all at, because it was the player. Cavaliers, very, very smart here with the way this whole thing has been handled. You've got to have plausible deniability from the franchise that they knew any of this stuff was coming. And where I'm going with that is Dion Waiters, of course, came out a couple of days ago. If you guys didn't hear, LeBron James actually called him, I think he said 5 days before he put the letter out. So if that was Friday, would have been on Monday of that week. Said LeBron called Dion, said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but be ready. And Dion says he told him he was working hard, and he said, I know you are. And then he said a couple of days later, boom, LeBron said he's coming back. So he actually let Dion Waiters know 5 days before the decision that it was at least close enough to possibility that it was time for him to start getting ready. But the word coming out now, and I think I saw some cats were talking about this on ESPN. I think Stephen A. and Skip Bayless. I don't know. I saw the abbreviated version of it. I didn't watch it, but I read into what they were talking about. And there's a lot of words that apparently LeBron James spoke to Kevin Love weeks, maybe even months before he made his decision. And this whole thing was and you know what? It's so funny because it's the exact same thing that everybody was so up, and I was too, about how Miami supposedly put things together well in advance and all of the collusion that was going on behind the scenes. Well, a lot of that's coming out now that this happened as well. LeBron talked to Kevin Love and knew that Kevin Love would be willing to orchestrate and help a trade, or if not, be willing to come here as a free agent one way or the other. Had talked to Kyrie Irving about him committing to the Cavs, which changes, in my opinion, the way you look at all of that, because I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I don't think anything can happen because, again, plausible deniability is all the Cavs have to have. And LeBron can call any player he wants. Now, maybe LeBron could get fined for tampering, but I don't believe the Cavaliers, as long as there's not one single link to the franchise. But if there is, and if there is ever a tangible link that the Cavs and Kevin Love have talked about his contract and him making a handshake agreement to extend it, Cavs are in big trouble. Big trouble. Look back at what the NBA did to Minnesota when they had an agreement with Joe Smith to sign that nearly $100 million contract. I mean, they got slapped down. It was a huge fine. I believe they got hit with 4 number 1 draft picks taken away from the team. I mean, that was a franchise crippling move right there. And it was over Joe Smith. When you look back, can you believe that somebody was going to max contract? And I like Joe Smith, classy guy. Max contract Joe Smith. I mean, $86 million at that time. Unbelievable. Like, I can't believe you're going to get your franchise caught up. It's not going to be to give a max contract to Joe Smith. And I like Joe Smith a lot as a person and as a player back then. But come on. That's what I mean when I say that's ridiculous. If he's worth a max contract, then what are the best players worth? You got to give him a piece of the team at that point. But that franchise got nailed, reamed by the NBA for that. So if anything was to come out, and it doesn't have to come out this week, if it comes out a year from now, that the Cavaliers had any kind of tampering or involvement here, that could be a big thing. So that's what I worry about when I hear stories like this. If it's all through LeBron, that's the best general manager you can have, because he can take a different set of responsibility, and at least he's not and plus at that time he was not a member of the Cavaliers. But there's a lot of fine lines, and we argued about this when LeBron left, just in general as a show and as a fan base, and about how it was wrong with the collusion. But at the end of the day, you couldn't put that together, and there was never anything that was able to come out of that. But this is tricky, especially because, hey, man, there's some people not happy. Media. We talk about the media's agenda with Johnny Football. There's a lot of media not happy that LeBron ended up in Cleveland. A lot of fans are, but there's some media not happy. They're like, man, you could have went anywhere. Why did you go to Cleveland, man? We don't like Cleveland. Why would LeBron? Whatever. People not happy will be glad to dig under some rocks and try to dig this out. So that's what I'm saying. It's not the kind of story. If there's something there, it won't just go away, and it could pop up. Who knows when? But that, again, franchise crippling stuff. For as bright as the future looks to Cavaliers fans, that could instantly turn around if some crazy stuff went down. And I'm just saying, I don't know how long you've been in Cleveland, but I've been here for a minute. Crazy stuff happens a lot. A whole lot. So we're not just always waiting for the other shoe to drop because we're crazy. It's because usually the other shoe does drop. So just keep that stuff in mind as these stories come out here. And again, like I said, I think the biggest thing to worry about is some of that media that's not happy that LeBron ended up there and goes out of their way to try to nudge some of this stuff up. But again, as long as the Cavaliers maintain some plausible deniability, that is the legal term that they need to stick with, that they had nothing to do with any of this. But we talked about it. The stuff with Love, that's tricky. Not him coming here, but him agreeing. You cannot do that. You cannot agree to a contract at that stage. It's against the rules of what they do, and it could get them in a lot of trouble. But interesting to see. But it's just funny now that's coming out, and here in Cleveland, it's cool. Everybody's like, hey, man, I don't got a problem with LeBron putting all that stuff together. But when they were on the bus in Beijing and they were putting that thing together to go to Miami and people found out about it, ooh, they weren't happy about that. That's for sure. Funny to see that collusion works both ways here. Interesting. But we'll see how that breaks down. If anything else comes out, it could be months from now. We might go, hey, man, remember when we were talking about that back in August? Cavaliers got some trouble coming. We'll find out. But schedule's out, and Cavaliers are all over that thing. No surprise at all. They're all over it. Hey, guys, I'll tell you what. Before I go, I've got a caller on the hold, so I'm going to let you guys wrap up the week on the Sports Fix. I have no clue who's on hold. I'm going to pull them up, and I'm going to go to the phone lines. Caller, you get to wrap up the day here on the Sports Fix. What's happening?
Big Daddy, how are you?
Big Bob. Perfect. What a way to end this thing, my man. How you doing?
Oh, not bad. Hey, isn't it great to have the greatest basketball player in the world on your team? And look at all this play you guys are going to get now on TV.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, man. I'm still getting used to this whole thing, okay? Let me baby step my way. Let me baby step my way back into this thing, okay? He's all right. He's not bad. At least he plays for the Cavs. Anyways, how about them young Indians? How about them young Indians?
Oh, them young Indians, baby. We got to, I think we're going to be out there tomorrow, J-Rock. I think we're going to take the old puddle jumper, man.
Oh, man, come on down.
I want to see... I want to see that $14.6 million Ubaldi arm break down, man, tomorrow.
I got to tell you, you're picking the wrong game. If I were you, tonight's the game. I
can't make it tonight. That's why. But unfortunately, if we do come, it's going to be tomorrow.
Well, that's cool. I know. You got to do what you got to do. But yeah, tonight.
Absolutely. We got to win the series. Got to take these. We got to take 2 out of 3 from the Orioles. That's for sure.
Man, that's a big order. That's a tall order for any team.
We can do it. We can do it. We got the ace tonight. Corey on the mound tonight.
And Ubaldo is the anti-ace on the other side, so the Indians have an outside shot at 2 out of 3 here, man. So
my word, man! Oh, thank the Lord that. We didn't sign him, really.
Oh, man, but it'll be interesting. I agree with you. You know, you've got to. I think you got to take 2 out of 3. I hate to say that because that's tough. I mean, this is a great team you're playing against here, but you do.
That'll put us
take this serious.
That'll put us in a great frame of mind.
Heading out on the
following
road
this series.
Minnesota.
Going ahead to the other games, you know what I'm saying? Beating the number 1 team in the AL East, that's gonna look good. That's gonna be good for the young players, too. You know.
And I'm hoping that big crowds, the fireworks, the good pitching matchup tonight, it builds some.
And then Sugardale hot dogs for $1.
That's right.
Oh
That's
right. Baby! I wish I was there.
Cleveland loves
But hey, another thing, we do have a plethora of great young outfielders in our farm system.
Yeah,
Unbelievable now, huh?
unfortunately, half of them are on our major league system right now, which is the problem.
That's good.
But
we get to look at them early before we go
great,
to the.
I don't want to look at them too early because I want to win this wild card. Hell, I want to win this division. We are still right
don't talk
there.
wild card with me. You know, Rod, we're going to win the damn AL Central. Come on now, J-Rock.
Here you go again.
Wild card. We're going to the Central.
I'm just trying to get over 500 first, man. Then we can go win the World Series.
Yeah, we're 500. We're going to finish. We're going to finish August 5 or 6 games above. We're going to be there.
We're going to be there. They got the right schedule to do it. I will tell you that. They have got the schedule to finish.
That's even besides
August.
the schedule.
Yes.
We haven't hit our stride yet. And you know something? And I like that. You know, hopefully we're going to get right into it right now, August 15th against Baltimore.
I like Big Bob's
middle of August.
mindset.
I want to start right now in August instead of waiting until September like we did last year, you know. We've got to get into September, 5 or 6 games above.
The old general saying, we have not yet begun to fight. I
Absolutely,
like your outlook, Big
we
Bob.
have not yet begun to fight.
You know?
Hey, and who's putting all this crap out on that I'm hearing? I'm getting off the subject here again about Hoyer being traded, man. I heard this like a week, 2 weeks ago, man. You know, I'm sorry I got onto this because usually I never talk basketball and football before my
you can talk about anything you want,
young
man,
Indians, man. But I can't stand this crap.
Don't worry about it, man. I mean, that's one of the most ridiculous things I've heard. Like, I don't
thank
care.
God you're out in Cleveland on the radio and not me, because I'd be going nuts. I
went nuts for a minute because I couldn't believe that people thought it was a viable idea.
It's unreal.
You know? Telling you, man.
My word.
It's like, you know, see if the Indians call somebody up, you know, a pitcher, and then they go, well, we can trade Kluber now because we got 5 pitchers. No, that's not exactly how it works, you know. But, and I'm not comparing.
Absolutely. Hey, how's the weather out there today?
We're all right, you know. I mean, this week has been kind of a colder week, but next week back in the 80s, holding strong for August. It's not the dog days like it can be sometimes here, so.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. But yeah, are you going to be at the ballpark tonight?
No, actually, you know what? I don't know if I'm going tonight, but I'm hoping to get out to one this weekend for sure. Yeah, maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday, but yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully Bruce and Mr. What's his name there? Oh man.
Whoever it is. Hopefully you see him at the game. I know where you're going.
Oh, absolutely. We need some fans. We need some fans in the stands, baby. You know that.
Well, hey, hopefully you're importing a couple of them from Connecticut, you know. So come on out.
I'm glued to the TV. Believe me. Oh, everything is ready an hour and a half beforehand. Everything. Especially with Kluber tonight. The only thing is I don't like everybody comes over. All the Yankee, Red Sox, Mets fans come over, and they drive me nuts. You know, that's the only thing, J-Rock. They drive me nuts.
Calling 2 out of 3 for the Indians
this weekend. That's what we have to do. We have to take these series. You know, and we're going to be in the driver's seat. We're going to be in the driver's seat.
My man, you got the last word on the show, man. Thank you very much, brother.
Big Daddy, I was afraid again. I thought I wasn't going to get through.
No way.
I was sweating over here. I was sweating at the desk.
I got you. Have a good one,
all right,
brother.
Guys, listen, be safe.
You too.
And keep everything going strong out there in Cleveland, brother.
All right. Enjoy the weekend.
All right,
we'll talk
man.
to you
We
next
love you.
week. All right, man. My man, Big Bob from up in Bristol, Connecticut. He's calling 2 out of 3. Let's see if he's right. That's what they got to do. They got to take care of some business this weekend. Hey, speaking of last mention business this weekend, don't forget, if you're in the area, you want to come out and check a little incredible pro wrestling action, I'm going to be there in the ring, getting funky like a monkey, out for the Lake Erie Crushers at All Pro Freight Stadium. Tomorrow, the game and the wrestling event, check it out. You can go to amrevwrestling.com, or you can go to the Lake Erie Crushers website yourself. Go check them out. There are a few limited VIP tickets. It may be sold out, but there may be some VIP available. But Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, he's going to be there. X-Pac, Too Cool. Some famous WWE talent's going to be there. Some great independent wrestlers. Yours truly, the Big Daddy, and so much more. So come on out. It's at All Pro Freight Stadium tomorrow. Lake Erie Crushers action, and AmRev Wrestling, baby. American Revolution Wrestling live with the Lake Erie Crushers. Come on out. Check me out. And if you get there and you come and you're from the Sports Fix, find me and let me know that that's where you came from, because I want to meet each and every one of you every chance that I get. Guys,